Lynette starts off this hour in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Lynette. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Well, my son actually suggested that I give you a call because I have about $90,000 in a traditional IRA, which that to me is a foreign language right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been hearing over and over that I need to put it in a Roth IRA.
Mm-hmm.
And I have absolutely no idea how to do that. I mean, I'm earning virtually nothing on dividends for this. And I don't know what I'm doing, and I need your help.
Okay. Well, a Roth or a traditional are not an investment. They are how the investment is treated for taxes.
Okay.
So you can have a bad investment in either one or a good investment inside of either one. An example of a bad investment in any kind of an IRA inside of a Roth or a traditional would be just buying it at the bank and putting it in the equivalent of a CD and it earns nothing.
Right.
Okay, and the example of a good investment inside of either one that I suggest is growth stock type mutual funds. And I personally spread my type of investments across 4 of those categories: a growth in income, an aggressive growth, and an international. And I spread it across like that. So, but it's all mutual funds, in other words, and so it's going to get more like returns, more like what the stock market does, which is a whole lot more on average than the CD world is. Okay, so now how the investment is treated for taxes is the difference between traditional and Roth or not being in there at all. Now, if you bought mutual funds not inside of either one, as they made money and paid the money to you, you would pay taxes on that gain, okay?
Okay.
Since it's inside, under the tent of an IRA, you're not going to pay money in either case as it grows until you take it out, okay? Now, the difference is the traditional IRA, you get a tax deduction on the money when you put it in. So it's what we call before tax dollars going in.
Okay.
And so, like if you put $5,500 into a traditional IRA this year, you would take that as a deduction on your taxes, so you would not pay taxes yet on that $5,500. You follow me?
Okay, yes.
Then it grows tax deferred in a traditional, meaning you don't pay taxes until you take it out. So the whole thing, when you take it out, is taxable.
Okay.
If you take it out early, it's taxable with a penalty. So let's play pretend for a second, and let's look into the future, because this is a great question, not only for you, but for our listening audience. Okay, you got $90,000 in there. If you add nothing to it and you had it in mutual funds and it made 12%, it might make that much, it might make less, it might make more. How old are you now?
I'm 60.
Okay. And if you did that for 10 years until 70, okay, then that would grow to about $470,000 in that 10-year period of time. Okay?
Wow.
Let me do that again, because I'm not sure I did that right. I didn't do that right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put. I think that is a wow. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like wow.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. No, I did. No, I think I did it wrong. I'm gonna check my numbers here. Yeah, that's more like it. It's about 300,000. Okay. So it would about triple. Okay, give or take whatever the rate of return is. But let's say it went from 90 to 290. All right.
Okay.
Then that'd be a $200,000 gain. You're going to pay taxes on the 90 because you haven't paid taxes on what you put in there already, and you're going to pay taxes on the growth inside a traditional IRA. Okay. Now, jump over to the other one, the Roth. ROTH is named for the senator that passed the bill, Senator William Roth, that caused this to be in effect. That's where the name comes from. It is after tax dollars going in, no tax deduction on the money that goes in.
Okay.
But it grows tax-free.
Oh.
So you would not pay taxes you would pay taxes on the money you put in, but you would never pay taxes on the growth.
Okay.
And so in our example, if you put 90,000 in there, and if it grew to 290,000, you would have no taxes on the 200,000 growth.
Okay.
if you waited 10 years to take it out, okay, and if it grew to that. Now, so that's in our example. Now, the 90,000, however, has not been taxed. So if you roll it from a traditional to a Roth, that money is taxable now.
Mm-hmm.
So you pay taxes on 90 grand now to keep from paying taxes on 200 later if you put it in an investment and leave it alone in the time we talked about.
Wow.
Does that make sense? So
Yes,
your
it does.
taxes probably be like $30,000. Do you have any other money?
Yes.
You have an
Yes,
extra
we have.
30,000 you could lay your hands on.
Say that again?
You have an extra 30,000 you could lay your hands on to pay the taxes with that are caused by rolling this from a traditional
Probably
to a Roth.
not. Probably not.
Okay. Then you'd have to use some of this money to do that.
Okay.
And you could do that, but there's no real benefit much. So if you can, and you could do some of it this year and some of it next.
Okay. So, I mean, that makes great sense. So you're saying, yeah, see, that's the thing. It's paying taxes on $90,000.
But if you're going to only leave it alone 3 years or 5 years, it's not going to be worth it. I'd just leave it where it is. Other than I would roll it from a traditional bad investment, traditional IRA, to a good investment, traditional IRA. Where you got it, it didn't work, and you need to move it into something else. But
right, exactly.
I would not move to a Roth unless you're going to leave it alone about 10 years.
Which I probably will.
Okay.
So if I didn't have 30, what would you do? If I had the 30, if I don't have the 30,000.
How much do you have extra, not counting your emergency fund?
Oh, gosh. Isn't this awful? Because I don't know. My husband and I are both retired. We both have pensions.
Okay. Well, let's pretend. How much? What's your income?
I don't know, 200 maybe.
Okay. So you could easily cash flow 15,000 this year and 15,000 next year.
Okay.
So if you wanted to move half of it one year and half of it another year,
and do cash flow,
and just cash flow the taxes. That way, the whole 90 goes to work for you. And you've already paid the taxes on that 90, so you won't pay taxes on it later when you take it out, and you'll never pay taxes on the growth.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Oh, I love it. That is...
Yeah, that'll work.
Wow.
That's going to make good sense.
And then leave it in there for 10 years.
Yeah, or more.
And other than making... What was my dividend? My dividend was something like... Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, well, you need to have it invested in something better, whether you leave it in a traditional or whether you move it to a Roth. That's the thing. So get in touch with one of our endorsed local providers, our ELPs, at the front page of DaveRamsey.com. Click on ELP for investing. They'll sit down with you and teach you, like I just did, how all this works, and then you'll know what you are doing. That's very important with investing, and then you decide based on that what you're going to do. But that's how it all works. This is The Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. You can do this. You know, that really is the message. Whether you've got $270,000 in student loan debt or $27,000, whether you've got a $50,000 income or a $500,000 income,